live one-on-one conversation. 30 minutes of pure entertainment with musicians, writers, and actors to motivators, chefs, and even rappers to up-and-comers with the it factor. It's the Jazzie K Ward coming at ya. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs. Tune in, chime in, sit back, relax. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs. Jazzie After Dark.
Yeah, hey, yo, this joint right here. Yeah, put your hands up. Yo, put this joint right here. Yo, where you at, yo? Hey, put this joint right here. Yeah, put this joint right here. Yo, I said I wake up every day, turn on the TV. All I see is rims, gold grills, spongy. I'm looking for the real, I'm looking for the truth. I'm looking for myself, so let me hop up in the booth. If this is what it is, I do my job. I'm knocking down doors, trying to turn knobs. Hey, that's what it do. That's what it do. What?
What's up, everybody? Happy Monday and welcome to another edition of Artist Talk Jazz After Dark. I'm your host, Jazzie K Ward. So glad to be here with you. Hope you had a great week. And that was my friend, the one and only international recording artist, Mr. Walter Chancellor Jr., who is our special guest tonight. He definitely has that it factor, just like each and every one of you who are joining us tonight. I see my friend Colleen is in the room. Hey, Cyril. I think I said that night. Hey, Sheila Singleton. My brother Kenneth. My other brother, international recording artist, Mr. Gregory Goodlow, is also hanging out with us. My friend Vaughn Stupart. Thank you all so much. If you would, please share the video, share the live. We have Chef D in the house with us. We have Dr. G. Dr. Chantel Graham is here. But you know what? I'm so excited about this conversation tonight. I think I'm ready to go ahead and kick off Artist Talk right now.
Live from WKRW, welcome to Artist Talk, a live one-on-one conversation with your host, the man with the golden voice, Jazzie K Ward.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Artist Talk. I'm so excited that you all have taken the time out of your busy schedule to hang out with me I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get my lighting right. It's amazing how you can do this show each and every day. Nothing changes, right? Everything stays in the same place. And, I'm going to say this, technology, right? Technology. I got like 10 different light fixtures in here, and it always seems to be that way. So everybody, if you don't forget, go over to K Ward Radio, my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the channel. KWardRadio.com is my website. And if you don't do any of that, you know what? Shame on you. And shame on you if you don't know our guest tonight. Let me tell you a little bit about Walter Chancellor Jr. He's a professional saxophonist. He's a multi-instrumentalist. He's an educator. He's an arranger. He's a mentor. He's a music producer. He has that it factor. Now, he's been a mainstay in the Twin Cities contemporary jazz and R&B scene for more than 25 years. Now, he's performed and recorded with some of the greats, such as Shaka Khan, Willie Nelson, Candy Dofer, Music Soul Child, Larry Graham, one in a million. I think that, yeah, Mr. Larry Graham, right? Chris Big Dog Davis, and the Pointer Sisters. The list goes on and on and on. And I'm so excited to finally have this conversation with him tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's welcome to the platform. Let's welcome to Artist Talk, recording artist, saxophonist, composer, and producer, Walter Chancellor Jr.
Thanks for having me, Jazzy.
What's up, my friend? How you doing?
Man, doing great today, man. Living and loving it. You know what I mean?
Actually, you over there looking all smooth, and you just the whole vibe, everything is just all on point.
Hey, man, this is your show, man. I gotta show up, baby.
I appreciate you showing up. I know you're gonna show out, and we opened up the show. But before we go to the performance, where were you performing at in that performance that we opened up?
That was at a theater that was in downtown Minneapolis, and this was back. Excuse me, I gotta tighten something up before it falls over. But it was it's a theater. It's in downtown Minneapolis. Can't recall the name. I mean, that's bad. But it was at a release party that I did way back in 2013. So that was a while back.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was like a whole full ensemble back there behind you.
Yeah, I had Sonny Thompson from Prince's band, the bass player, on bass. Mario Dawson on drums. Brian Nelson on keys. A guy and a DJ, Paul Z, that was doing some DJ in there as well. Who else was on that? There's a few people. Sandman, who's an old student of mine at the school I taught at Institute of Production Recording. He was the MC. And Scott, let's see, George Scott on guitar. And then Scott Behrens he was on guitar as well. And just trying to cover everybody there. And then myself. And so, this was a while back, so it's been a minute. The COVID, through the COVID cloud and what have you,
I know. So I'm kind of going off script here and stuff, but, with you being, living in Minneapolis, I'm sure you get this question all the time. Did you know Prince? Did you work with Prince? All of that.
Yes, I worked with Prince. I was introduced to Prince early 90s. Through a good friend of mine, Kirk Johnson, who was very close to Prince, and actually was in Prince's wedding. He was Prince's best man in his wedding, and he introduced me to Prince. And I initially recorded with Prince on the Get Wild single. It was actually a remix, so I did a remix on that, and that was my first introduction. But the big thing that I did with him was years later. I got to record and be part of the Emancipation record. So I'm on the first song on that record, Jam of the Year. And I'm also playing on one of the other discs on a song called Style. And that was back in 96, I want to say, somewhere in there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I knew that. But so when I asked that question, so for all of those people who are so new to, if you're new to Walter Chancellor, his music. So, now he's played with, some of the best. And I have to ask you one more thing. Like, what kind of guy was Prince?
Prince was, you know, he was a dear friend to me and for me and to me. And he, you know, had me come in and work. And, you know, there's a lot of times that a band I put together long after, I say 4 or 5 years after I recorded on that record. And that record went double platinum, by the way.
Yeah.
It went double platinum. So it sold like 2 million copies. So I'm glad to be part of that. But he would bring different people down to this club that I used to have a house gig at. And I created a band, put together a band. It was called Conversation Piece. And we played down there every Wednesday at this place called Jasmine's in downtown Minneapolis. Prince would come down at least twice, sometimes 2 and 3 times a month to sit in with us. He would sit in. He brought people like Larry Graham. He brought Candy Dulfer down one night. We all were on the stage, Candy Dulfer, myself. It was also Maceo Parker was on the stage. Prince was on the stage, Larry Graham. So it was a star-studded night and stage moment for me at that time. But I've worked with Prince, you know, 2 years before he passed. And I did some software work for him again. You know, going back to when I was telling you I worked in a school for recording, he had me come out and do some tech work. So there was no, you know, I didn't have to bring my toolbox of my saxophone, you know, to do any work. So I just brought my skills, which is what I assumed teaching in the school there. And he had me come out and do some software work for him. And we hung out for about a month, you know, off and on. You know, I probably go out about 2 or 3 times a week and worked with him. We played ping pong, we talked. And so that's the kind of cat Prince was for me. Yeah.
Okay. I love that. And so were you any good, Walter, in ping pong?
Not with him. I mean, you know, I had to ask him. I said, Prince, I said, why is it that you got to be good at everything? And he just looks at me and he goes, Walter, I strive for excellence. You know, and I was like, okay, I get it. I got it.
I love
He's
that.
awesome. He's anything that Prince pursued, I think, and you know, you can hear it in his vocals, his bass playing, his drumming, his keyboard playing, his, you know, he can sing real low, he can sing real high, he can produce, he can play everything at once, you know, all the instruments, you know, so he, you know, very, very talented man in all that he, you know, pursued, you know, and just all basketball, you can believe that. You've heard the story, the Chappelle story. They ain't no joke.
Yeah,
it's real.
I love that. And I appreciate you, Walter, also, you know, sharing that, you know, your relationship in your time with Prince. And just like you, you know, shame on me. I know me and Walter talked about this earlier. Shame on me that I told Walter I hadn't had him on Artist Talk sooner. But I believe all things happen in the time that they should happen, because this man has that it factor, and shame on you if you don't know Walter Chancellor Jr. But you're going to get to know him a little bit up close and personal tonight here on the show. If you have questions, comments, make sure you post them there. Go to his website, which will stream throughout the show, WalterChancellorJr.com. So, Walter, before we get started, I do this little segment called The Real You. So I'm just going to ask you some random questions, about 3 questions, just so our audience can get to know you a little bit.
Be careful.
Okay.
The real me. Okay, we want to go there.
The real you. So, if you won $10 million tomorrow, what would you do with it?
$10 million?
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably take 2 to 3 million and I would give it away to some kind of. I would donate it somewhere where it's really needed. First of all, I would do the research and see where my money would be effective, and you know, donate my money towards that cause that I would think that was effective, and the amount of money that it is, and for what it was for. You know.
For. I like that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Tell me something that you are no longer afraid of.
I would like to say heights, but I've been trying to overcome that, but it ain't working. But that's something I've had to deal with, even just crossing bridges and things like that. A plane doesn't bother me. Helicopters, somewhat. Bridges, ladders, you know, if I just go up and clean a window on the side of my house or something, you know, I'd be like, you know, shook up a little bit. But I would say the thing I'm not scared of anymore. Well, I could go all the way back to when I was younger guy. We want to go back that far?
Yeah, that's true. That's fine.
Okay. I was very shy. Very shy. And it was hard for me to approach girls. And even in my teens, when I got 15, 16, up until I was 17, it was just really hard for me to approach girls. And I was just shy around people. And my confidence was wasn't low, but I was just shy. Just, you know, basically a shy person, you know.
Okay.
So I've overcame that. And I can, nowadays, I'm told I run my mouth too much sometimes, you know. So, you know, my girlfriend, you know, she'll go like this sometimes, you know, when I'm rambling and moving. Yeah, like, okay, you know.
I get it. I get it. I can relate to that, Walter, because people realize like I'm better. I was extremely shy too. The youngest, you know, 3 brothers, 2 brothers, and you know, but you know, as I got older, maybe I got out of it, you know, a little bit, but I don't know. I was just shy. And then a lot of people were like, wow, how do you do your full-time work? How do you do radio? But people don't realize when you're in radio, for the most part, you're in a studio, right?
Yeah.
So it's like really nobody looking at you, but they're like, you're talking to probably thousands and thousands of people. Yeah, but you're in a little booth, like this little box right here. So, but yeah, I can definitely relate to that. And now I sometimes find myself, my brother's like, you just don't be quiet now. You just talk, you just talk, you just talk, you just talk. But I like that. Thank you for sharing it. Another question I have, do you have any unusual skills that you can share with us? Something, maybe a talent outside of maybe, I know you're phenomenal with instruments, but any other talents we may be surprised about?
Oh, I could cook.
Oh, wow. What's your favorite dish to cook?
A little bit of everything, but I say one of my favorites is like some French lamb chops, something like that. You know, lamb chops, rack of lamb. I love that dish, and that's just on a personal note. But for what I've prepared for other people, it seems like the other things I've made, from eggs and breakfast type things, you know, pancakes. I have my own pancake recipe that I make from scratch, and they're better than any IHOP. I don't care, pancake house you can ever go to. I'll send you.
Can you send me that recipe?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Hey,
it's awesome.
Okay, I love that. See, that wasn't too bad, was it, Walt?
No.
See, that wasn't bad. So, see, I got to know a little bit more of you, and I've seen some of your dishes. I think you've posted on your social media, your Facebook page.
Yeah,
and that's one thing I forgot. And
that's on my personal page. You know, I have a music page, which is Walter Chancellor Jr.'s Music Cafe. You know, because I like serving up things, which is food and music. You know, so that's the music part of getting served up. And then on my personal page, Walter Chancellor Jr., I do put up a lot of posts of, you know, my travels and excuse me, you know, food and dishes that I would dish up, or even going out to a restaurant or hanging out, you know.
Right. So this is not really, so what do you think you would do, Walter, if you got on one of these Food Network's channel? You think you could go on one of those contests on the Food Network?
Oh yeah, first thing I would make would be chitlins. You know what I'm saying?
I tell you, chitlins, you know,
just to shake up the show. You know what
I mean? That will definitely shake up the show. I promise you that, my friend. I tell you, I love that. And but our friend Sean LaBelle is on. He said, I know that guy.
Oh, Sean LaBelle, that's my guy. He's a bad cat, right? Man. Bass player, bad bass player. I don't want to use any profanity. I was gonna put the A and the dollar signs on it, you know. But he's awesome. Sean is awesome, and Sean has been instrumental in guiding me along the way with advice and different things along the way of my journey with the whole smooth jazz format. And, you know, taking a listen to my tunes and giving me some advice. He's great.
Yeah.
So kudos to that brother.
Yeah. Yeah, he's amazing. And Chantel, so what time is dinner?
Dinner, well, usually I eat at 6 o'clock, and we're past that. We're Central Time here. So I'm sorry. I wish I could hook you up, but, you know, there's another day and there's another time, and there's always going to be another dinner.
That's right. That's it. Our friend Debbie Pearl, thank you so much for watching. She's also watching. So, you know, Sean, before we get in also into the show, I just wanted to go back, you know, during that time during the pandemic, and I know we hadn't talked. Most of the time it's through social media, playing your music, but what was the pandemic like for you during that time? Like,
it was terrible. It was terrible.
Wow.
It was terrible. I caught COVID twice, and the first time I had it, I went overseas. I went on tour with the MPG, you know, Prince's old band, and they were doing some touring over there. And I was sitting in for a saxophone player. You've heard of Corey Wong, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah, Corey Wong. So their saxophonist Kenny Holman was in the band, but he had another gig doing the Phantom of the Opera here in downtown Minneapolis. So I sat in to go over a couple of tours. So went over there, and when I came back from Amsterdam, that's when I started getting sick. So I caught it at that moment. That was at the end of 2019. I didn't even really know what I had at that time until they, you know, thoroughly announced that this thing was going around, and it was called COVID. And then from there, a year later, I caught COVID again, and that time was a little bit more intense for me because I accumulated blood clots from it, some other symptomatic stuff. You know, it does different things to different people, you know.
right.
There's a great organist we have, a keyboardist we have up here, Herrera, Nachito Herrera.
Okay.
And he caught it, and he went into a coma, and he was in the hospital. He's out now, and he's playing again and stuff. So God bless him. You know what I'm saying? And pray that God just continues to bless that brother. But Nachito got really sick, and man, I tell you, when it hit me, I got the blood clots, and it was just terrible. So now, you know, being that I, you know, assumed that at that time, they just, you know, they kind of like said, okay, you know, you're at an age where you need to maybe take some certain medications and to keep the thing warded off because it could come back again. So I've been on medication for that since the beginning of 2021 or so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're doing better. I mean, that pandemic was just tragic.
Terrible.
Just terrible.
I lost so many friends behind that, and we saw others that left us. You know, notables, you know, in the music business, actors, and this and that and the other, and even politicians, you know. So it was, you know, everybody got a feel of that, whether they liked it or not. You know?
Right. Yeah. So I always tell people it impacted us in more ways than one. You know, even if you didn't know, it impacted everyone. It just had some form of impact. And I was just going to ask you that. Did you learn anything different about Walter? About yourself fundamentally? Is anything different now?
Yeah, I went way in on myself because first of all, the solitary and the confinement and, you know, just having that kind of vibe caused me to look inward and really check myself on a lot of things.
Right.
And it changed me. And I think it did for a lot of people. You know, if it didn't change you, you thought about changing or something because that was crazy. Being locked in, you can't go nowhere. You got to worry about going to the store, how you get your stuff, you know, how you getting here, how you getting there. If you didn't drive, you had to ride with somebody else. So it was quite daunting as it relates to being isolated and away from people. So the social aspect was just totally gone. I've been used to being playing in front of people and talking to folks in the crowd, things like that. But then it came to that point where I had to talk to myself. So, you know, that's where it was at. And I went inward and, you know, poured that positive part of what I assessed in myself, you know, poured that and more so out once I was able to, you know, connect with people again.
Right. I love that. So, hey, everyone, I'm your host, Jazzie K. Ward, and our special guest tonight is International recording artist Walter Chancellor Jr. He's a multi-instrumentalist. He's a saxophone. He's a producer. He's a composer. He's an instructor. He has that it factor. He's our special guest tonight. So what we're going to do, Walter, I'm going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about more great music. He has new music coming out. He's going to perform a song, one of my favorite of many of his songs, right? He's going to perform it for us. It's called Beautiful Day. And we're going to talk about it. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right here on Artist Talk.
Hi, this is saxophonist Phil Walker. Something is in the air tonight, and it's Artist Talk with Jazzy K-Ward. Join him every Monday on Facebook Live or YouTube at 7 p.m. Central Time. And if you don't, hashtag shame on you.
Feel the Breeze. The latest single from multi-platinum jazz recording artist Sean LaBelle is here. Featuring Grammy-nominated recording artist Patrice Rushen. Download or stream now at all your favorite music outlets.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Sean LaBelle. Check out all these amazing artists, such as, Walter Chancellor, independent recording artists. It's hard out here. I'm going to say this little phrase. It's hard out here for a pimp. I'm not saying you're a pimp, Walter. I'm just saying. It's hard out here for everybody. We all trying, right? So
we won't get into that, but I agree. Yes.
So it's about support. That's just a little slogan I use. Nothing personal, I promise you. Nothing personal. But don't forget to go over to WalterChancellorJr.com. That's his website. And go get music. Download music wherever music is streaming. You can still get your music. I want to ask you this, Walter. Can we still get physical CDs of some of your music? Physical copies?
Not as much these days, but I'm moving in that direction for the future. Just for like future shows that I do live and things like that, where my audience is just right then and there, But far as online, nothing physical I've sent out for quite some time. It's been a while.
Okay. So your music is available on all streaming platforms. People can still go download it, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Pandora. There's also Spotify. You can add that to your playlist. I've got CD Baby. There's a couple of releases I have that you can actually order a MP3 from there. And, again, folks, support, your local musicians. This is how we make them a living. These records are only going, they're only going for $1.25, less than a cup of coffee, less than a cup of coffee. So support your artists out here, folks. We need that support. But yeah, it's available in those places and spaces. Pandora, Deezer, most of the
Spotify?
Music platforms. Yeah, it's on Spotify. Absolutely.
Okay, I love that.
And
Apple Music. Apple Music. So I know your other songs from 2022, like Time to Chill. I think 2020 you released Stepping Out. 2016 Paradise. I think 2019 is Beautiful Day.
Yep.
And
exactly.
Every time I hear Beautiful Day, let me tell you what that song does to me. I think about Jill Scott's song. What's the? I just went for Golden. Every time I hear that song, Walter, it gives me that same feeling. So I don't know what was your inspiration when you wrote Beautiful Day?
Well, I wanted something that was happy, that was joyous, jubilant, and something that was uplifting in sound and in vibe. So, wrote that song, and immediately the title came to me quickly. I was just sitting writing, playing on the piano with it a little bit, and, came up with on the synthesizer, came up with a melody, and then I transposed that to the saxophone. And then from there, they got Champtown on here. Brian Champtown Harmon, that's my guy. Yeah, he's from the east side of Detroit. He's on my hydroponic jazz record, actually. This dude right here.
Wow. Hey, what's up, bro?
Chuck D, Ice-T. He knows all those cats. So he's a dude. But anyway, the song came to me in that manner. And I just proceeded to call it Beautiful Day. So then graphic artist Tim Nyberg, he helped me on the cover there with that, where you can see the sunglasses on, and there's there's the the blue and
I love
blue
that.
sky and
I was going to ask you who did the art cover.
His name is Tim Nyberg. Yep.
Wow.
I constantly nod at him sometimes to see if he'll do something else. He said he's retired, but I just bug him. Just to bug him, and hopefully he'll say yes to one of my pitchings here in the future.
Did he also do the Time to Chill cover?
No, that was Ron Brown. Yeah,
wow,
Ron
I love
Brown
that.
here, known as the Afro. Get what his call is on, but it's Ron Brown. If you just look up Ron Brown artist or whatever, Ron Brown on IG, you can find him. Yep.
Okay, I love that too.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to ask you too. What I would love, can we hear "Beautiful Day"? Can you play that for us?
Sure, I could do that.
I would love that. So
let me grab this. Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, do you have a name for your horn?
Yeah, this is Sheila.
Sheila.
And I've got a tenor here.
Okay.
And that's Sally.
Okay.
This big baritone, this big sax, this thing. That's Big Bertha.
Big Bertha.
That's Big Bertha. And then I have a bass clarinet, and that's Bonita.
Bonita. I like those names. And my friend Sheila Singleton is also, and she says Sheila is a good name.
Of course it is. I saw that.
I love that. So whenever you are ready, Walter, let's take it away. Ladies and gentlemen, this is his 2019 single. This is a song called Beautiful Day. I love this song. And wherever music is sold, I'm telling you, you need to go download this song. You need to go download all of his music, right? Just go get all of it.
Yes. $1.25 a pop. Come on, y'all.
Right.
dog, Big Dog Davis on the keys.
Ooh, I love it. I'm telling that's one of those songs that just
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
it just makes you feel good. And I played it one day. So on my job, since I work from home, so we have a monthly staff meeting. So sometimes I get artists and guests, they come on and play, or I DJ. And I played this song, Beautiful Day. And my president and CEO, she just went crazy. She's just like, I love that. And she said, Corey, you introduced us to so much music and artists and appreciate that we've never heard of. And there's so many amazing artists like yourself, Walter, that has that it factor. And I'm going to dive into that a little bit more. But what I'm going to do now is go to Dr. G, Dr. Chantel Graham, and she's going to give us mind, body, and soul. And then we're going to come back and have more up close and personal conversation with our guest tonight, which is saxophonist, producer, and composer, Walter Chancellor. Okay, Walter?
Thank you.
All right, here we go.
It's time for Health and Wellness Check-In with Dr. Chantel Graham. Tips for the mind, body, and soul.
Hey, Doctor.
I was, you know what I'm saying? Gotta get it going. That's like okay. Hey.
You remember that dance, Doctor?
You know I do. I'm sorry, I'm too young to remember that dance. I'm too young to remember that dance.
Right. Dr. Grant, I hope you had a beautiful day.
Yes, I did. Even though they be trying to stop me, but can't stop, won't stop. There we go. There we go. Hello, everyone. Good day, good people.
Right.
So, you know, I was thinking today, and I said, what are we going to talk about? And you know, I usually wait to the last minute. But anyway, I was thinking about if I look at you, and no offense to you, Jazzie, what can we tell about you by looking at your hair? I'm not trying to be funny. No shade, no shade. Don't listen. No shade. Don't start people. I get it. So, you know, there's certain things we can tell about your health by looking at your hair.
Okay.
For those people that actually gray at a rapid pace, that's linked to stress. Look at like Obama, who started off, his hair was just as dark as mine. And by the time he was done with the presidency, he was like stark white. So what happens is once you start to get stressed out, your body does not produce those pigments that keep your hair the natural color. So, you know, we can tell that you're stressing out by turning gray very, very rapidly. Next, if I look at your hair and I see that it's actually brittle, that can be a sign of Cushing's syndrome. What that is, you have this cortisol stirrer that your body holds onto. Not only does it make your hair brittle, but it also keeps you with the belly fat. So listen, just you got to watch that out. And so cortisol is just not a good thing. So overproduction, it keeps your belly fat. It makes your hair brittle. Then you can have what we call this, like if your hair starts to thin out, there could be several reasons for your hair thinning out. It can be that you may have some problems with your thyroid. So if you have hypothyroidism, and that means you're not producing enough hormones, that can thin your hair out and eventually lead to alopecia, which is never, never good. We can look at if you're shedding. So if you're starting to comb your hair, I'm not talking about those little pieces that you see on your shirt, but like if it's clumps that are starting to come out, that can be shedding. Now, what that could be is from anemia. So if you are going through hormone deficiency, you could be after having a child, be anemic. That postpartum shedding, your hair can start to come out really, really bad. You can also have hair loss if you have a GI issue. So if you're not absorbing your protein and you have a stomach issue, people that go through gastric bypass can start to lose their hair very rapidly. But the good news is there's certain things you can do to prevent that hair loss. And you got to start from within, not without. We want to put like little oil in our hair to make it look shiny and healthy. That's only going to go but so far. So if you start with good stuff, you'll end up with better results. So, you know, you got to drink water, people. Got to drink water. The vitamins that we love, you're going to love the biotin vitamins. Look, you listen. I keep a bottle of water here. I don't want to show the name because I'm not trying to do a little shameless plug, but I keep me some water. It depends on really what's on sale, but we ain't going to start talking about that because water can get expensive. We're going to talk about that. So you want to think about biotin. Biotin is great for hair. Not only does it make the hair longer, it can make your hair stronger. We love vitamin D. It's a great antioxidant. It's going to help avoid that oxidation that we have a problem with. We love iron. Iron helps every part of your body. Right. Now, people think about vitamin C. They don't think about hair loss. They think more so about immune deficiencies and things like that. But vitamin C, the reason we love that is because it helps us absorb that iron that helps our hair to grow. And we also got to love those big omega-3 fatty acids. They are great for hair growth. So you're going to find things like this. Start eating more eggs. Eggs has great protein. It has great vitamins. Almond butter is good because it has vitamin E. I love berries. Think about it. 1 cup of strawberries is going to give you 141% of the vitamin A that you need for your hair growth.
Wow.
What's even better, you think about it. Now, we had the debate in my house. People call it yams. Some call it sweet potatoes. I digress from calling either one. But that potato, the sweet potato or yam, you can eat 1 medium sweet potato. It's going to give you 400% of the daily amount of vitamin A.
Wow.
Now, I go back to, I love spinach. You know, spinach is great. Spinach is going to give you 1 cup of spinach that's this big, that shrinks down to that much. It gives you over half of the vitamin A you need. It gives you iron. It gives you vitamin D. And last but not least, let's talk about those peppers. Now, you know those peppers, they come in green, yellow, orange, red. I told you last time, green is always the cheapest because it's not ripe. So those are the cheap ones that they kind of get you to buy, which is nutrient packed. We love it. But the best one to eat is the yellow one because 1 yellow pepper has 5 times the amount of vitamin C as an orange.
Oh, wow. That's good to know.
So get that plate, make it look colorful, and start from within side.
Okay. So if I start eating a lot of this, will my hair grow back?
See, I didn't say that. I just said, don't put words in my mouth, and do not go to Dr. Google because you know we don't like Dr. Google. Go to your doctor, see what your hair loss is. It could be hereditary, which usually it is. And people don't realize that hair loss is hereditary of your mother's trait, not your dad's trait.
That's so interesting. And I know we're out of time, but like my mom had a hair full of hair, my dad had a hair full of hair, but me and my brothers, our hair like in my 30s started thinning. That's just weird.
It could have skipped a generation. It could be some kind of genetics you just don't know. Who knows?
Right. That's true. Well,
but
Dr.
eat good stuff and drink a lot of water. Come on, let's go. To help your skin.
I drink so much water. I drink tons and tons of water. But hey, Dr. we always learn. I always anticipate each and every week. Like I always learn something new. So we thank you. We love Dr. G on the show. And as we always say,
we'll be in the OR tomorrow.
I was going to ask you, would you add Beautiful Day? Or just add Walter Chancellor in the OR.
Listen, I play Spotify in a heartbeat. We're going to add him to our little playlist. Yes, Walter, we add him to the playlist. Jamming on the 1. Look, jamming on the 1. I'm telling my age. Jamming on the 1. Right. We're going to jam. We're going to jam.
And Gary Smoot said, thank God onions is not involved.
he gonna let the onions go, Gary. Just eat an onion. You'll be fine. Fine.
And Dr. Graham, let people know how they can find you. And tell us about Mia the Germinator, your book.
Y'all know she's always right here. I'm an independent artist too, self-published artist. Get your copy of Mia the Germinator. She goes around neutralizing germs. My website, theapplife.info, and that's my email address, drgraham@theapplife.info.
Just like
question. If you have a question about anything health topic, I won't charge you or bill you for it. You can still send me the question. I'll respond.
You respond. Can you stick around for the rest of the show?
You know I'm here. Let's get some good music. Let's go.
I know. Let's go. Thank you, Dr. G. Thank you so much. Always.
Take care, guys.
Okay. Hey, everybody. That's Dr. Chantel Graham. Make sure you follow her and make sure you get the book. I have the book here, Mia the Germinator. I know, it's not for kids. It's just for everybody. I don't have kids, but everybody, we have a cousin, a nephew, a niece, a neighbor, somebody. It's all about support. So go get the book. So, y'all, we're going to go back into our conversation with our special guest tonight, multi-instrumentalist, saxophonist, producer, and composer, Walter Chancellor Jr. Welcome back, my friend. Can't hear me? Let's see. Testing. Can you hear me now, Walter? Testing 1, 2. I can't hear you, Walter. Is your mute on your end? Let's see. Why don't you try to log out and then come back in? Let's see. Let's see. You know, y'all, it's technology. It happens. I was trying to tell Walter to log out. What? Let's see. I don't know if he saw that little message. Okay. Everybody. So Walter, he logged out, and so people said they can hear me. So we're going to try to get Walter back on the line. So y'all, again, if you have questions or comments for our guests, don't forget to go over to WALTERCHANCELLORJR.com is his website. Again, don't forget to go over to KWardRadio.com is my website. Make sure you subscribe to that. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel so people so they can hear me. So hopefully Walter will come back in. So I think Walter just popped in, and let's subscribe to my YouTube channel so people so they can hear me. So hopefully.
Okay, I got you on my phone.
Okay. That's fine. Well, good. Well, welcome back to the show. Hey, it's technology, Walter. It happens. So, you know.
Hey, you see everything? See everything in the studio? It's broke down before.
I know.
From
And so
this phone to these horns to everything that's sitting up in here.
Right. Have you ever had that happen to? Have you ever had that happen to you while you were performing with one of your instruments and something happened to it?
I had a whole note. See one of these?
Mm-hmm.
See that?
Right.
Plink.
So in that moment, Walter, what do? You just keep going? Do you grab, or do you have a?
Well, there's two things you can do. I've seen this happen to the best of artists and in concerts. And what they'll do, they'll just keep either the band will keep playing, and then they'll go to the back, and then they'll fix it. You know, you always keep a screwdriver. Always
Keep a screwdriver.
Always keep a screwdriver. I got a screwdriver here. It's sitting way back there. Always keep a screwdriver. So then you can fix it in those instances. Now, if I've got more than one horn on stage, so let's say I got this alto, and that goes bad, then I can grab either Big Bertha, or I can grab old Sally, trusty Sally over there.
Right.
You know, Sally's the oldest. Sally's the oldest one up in here. She was made. She was born in 1935.
Wow.
Yeah. She's a cougar. She's a cougar for real.
She's a cougar. I love that. And I see something else behind you. I think that's a microphone.
Yeah, this thing here.
Yeah,
that's my mic I record with, and it's a Neumann. It's a Neumann mic. It's one of those mics. It's kind of, it's designed as one of those mics that people like Sinatra, Nat King Cole, all the greats, all the greats from back in the day, the crooners, even Ella Fitzgerald, if you will, John Coltrane, Miles Davis probably played through a mic similar to this back in his day. But this is a newer version of that mic. Oh, wow. But if you were to have the original version of those mics can run 20 to 30 grand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got lucky with this one. It was on sale at Guitar Center, so like Labor Day sale, I was on it. But it's a great mic. It's my go-to for vocals and the horns and everything.
Hey, I love that. And Gary said something. I don't know what those numbers are, but a U87.
No, it's a M. It's not a U87. It's actually a step up from that, which is a M149.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Neumann M149. Yep.
Okay, I love it. So when I listened to you, and just to go back, what first inspired you to do music? Is this something you always wanted to do?
I always was drawn to the saxophone at a young age. At 5, 6, 7 years old. simply because, I lost my dad when I was 4 years old. So my mom kept a lot of his records. And all his records are like Louis Jordan, all those old records. Louis Jordan was a saxophonist himself. So when I saw these records, I was like always drawn by the cat that was standing up front, and it was always Louis Jordan. So then in 8th grade, I was at a Christmas, we had a Christmas program in our elementary school, and a guy named Bobby Stanton. So for those from back home in Des Moines, y'all know Bobby Stanton, remember him.
Oh, yeah.
He came up and he played Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in front of us in our little Christmas program. Blew my mind. I lost my mind. I couldn't wait to get out of school to get home, and ran home, and my mom was in the kitchen. I was grabbing her. Mom. She's like, "What's wrong with you?"
Right.
I said, "Mom, I want a saxophone." So from then on, that's when my saxophone history started. From that point.
Wow. So, even when you talk about history, I always, me being a history buff and a historian, especially when it comes to civil rights, and I'm big on music, and even in today's time, and I don't really get into politics, but I think about the time we just celebrated here, March 1965. We had a huge celebration, Jubilee, which is what happened along with Congressman John Lewis and so many other foot soldiers in Selma, Alabama, when they decided to march for human rights. And the reason I'm mentioning this is that music played such an integral part, and I think in all aspects of our lives. And if you think about that civil rights movement, you think about Dr. King and so many others, how powerful music has been and is still today. So my question is to you, why should people care about jazz music?
Why should they care?
Yeah, why should they care?
Well, it's an integral part of our musical history as a people, as Black folks, first of all, and of American history. It's the original, one of the original American art forms of America, in America. It originated here. This didn't come from anywhere else. It came from this country, and worked its way from the South, from the slave and cotton fields, to the blues, to even, it even stems into country music. Country music just didn't appear. That's a derivative of the blues and all the other music that was being sang, in those churches and, in those fields. And, the songs were made as codes to get away, to get to the Underground Railroad. It goes on and on. You want to talk history, man, we go crazy with it,
Because when I see artists, and I see so many artists, and whether you're a multi-instrumentalist, a vocalist, whatever you play, some people just say, you ever hear that saying, people say, "Oh, I'm just a singer. Oh, I just play the saxophone. Oh, I just play the keyboard." But when I see artists like yourself, what you do as a musician is so much more than that. I feel like you're offering relief, a way to see ourselves differently, even though you're playing this instrument or a saxophone. And what you're playing is in a way for us to see our culture is what you do, what you're showing us, the true essence of yourself. Your purpose is so much bigger than that. When I see artists, "Oh, I'm just a saxophone playing," do you see yourself way bigger than that, Walter?
From the exemplar, just to exemplify out of myself, I would say so, because what's been played on this instrument is what's coming out of me. So yeah, I would like to have music that's more uplifting, inspiring. And I actually have this little thing that I'm going to do. It's going to be called the Beatnik Chronicles, where I'm going to talk and even use spoken word and talk across, different music that I produce back here, and just have some things that are thoughtful, benevolent and information and sharing love, peace, and, all about healing, none of that shake 'em up music, as I'm talking about, we see every day on TikTok and Instagram, and even in just regular videos, people are making millions on this stuff. I'm not going there in that way. People can express themselves if they want to, This is why
Right.
we have free speech here. But
Right.
in my wheelhouse, I'm trying to do things and come up with ideas that are going to be healing, things that are going to be appealing for the
Mhm.
healing, and
Right.
also something that's is message oriented, you know, and can
Right.
be talking about some things that address what's going on today, as well as what maybe should go on in the future, if we can
Right.
make that happen, you know.
Right. I like that. And I think that's even more being successful in even educating and knowing about this business with yourself, because it's just more than you getting up, you know, oh, I have a band, I'm playing an instrument. But how important has educating yourself been on your professional career path as a musician?
Well, that has really expanded in my career. I would say probably in the last 8-9 years.
Mhm.
My business sense has probably zoomed up 60%, where I was at 40% for a long time. My 40% was, hey, I'm a sax player. This is what I do. I'm just trying to do my thing.
Right.
But I would suggest to anybody, young folks, aspiring music, and even my colleagues that's out here, learning, it's one thing to be into music, but it's another thing to be in the music business. It's a whole different game,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to ask you if you could share, if you could share, what's been some challenges? Because, you know, a lot of time, as amazing and talented and gifted as Walter Chancellor, and I'm sure maybe some artists or at some point have experienced, what's been some challenges that you can share that you've probably have seen maybe in this music business, maybe even getting your music heard? Do you still, is there still some challenges you still have to, because I mean, you play with some big name people.
Right, right. But it's in the wheelhouse of playing alongside with them as a performer. But doing it on your own, you have to take an independent stance, and you have to take an independent position and posture as how you're gonna, you know, how you're gonna guide your career, how you're gonna go about it, what's your strategy, you know, how you're gonna blitz, you know, have a blitz, you know, for a release, and how you're gonna, you know, how do you want to look? Your branding is everything.
Right.
The branding is everything. So, you know, I mean, you know, if I was a person that had a big scar on my face, I call myself the scarred face saxophonist. I'd you know what I'm saying? I would
Right.
work off of that. So we work off our strengths and what it is we can, you know, exemplify of our own persona to make an impression upon the listener and the viewer, as it would be with a live performance, a video, or, you know, even just a picture of you. You know, it's
Right.
everything. So I would say to all my colleagues and young folks, get to know the business. The publishing is a big thing right now. There are laws and things in place now that can really get you paid. Sometimes we don't make a lot of money, and that's not always what it is, but at least you get paid what it is that you deserve and that you have coming to you. And it's not just your money. Money's just not sitting out there in a black hole, you know, out in space somewhere, you know, and you got to, you know, you're sitting at home here on Earth and hoping it comes down and crashes on the Earth like a satellite or a meteorite. It's not going to happen like that.
Right.
You got to get in the spaceship. You're going to have to go fly up there and search
That's
for
right.
whatever it is you need, you know, in your musical, your works, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always, when you mentioned, I was thinking about something. Well, me and my friend was having a conversation. I was just talking about common ground. Common ground, you know, there's a reason why there's, I think, common ground for all of us, whatever your professional career is. It's I think we all want some of the same things. It's the same things I want. But what it is for me is, what is the truest, highest expression of myself and yourself as a human being? That you, I think that's so important when it comes to common ground
Yeah, it is
and everything we do.
very, very much so. I mean, we have to put forth in, you know, what it is we're here for. Everybody's here for a reason. If
Right.
you're not, then I guess you're not. But in my mind, everybody's. If you think so, you can think what you want. But in my mind, I'm thinking everybody's here for a purpose. You didn't just land here just to be here. You don't,
Right.
you know, you're just not here to take up space. You're
Right.
here to, you know, give some kind of human and mankind type of output from yourself into the
Okay.
world socially, you know,
Mhm.
family, friends, and help,
That's right.
and just in purposeful being. Period. Purposeful being, and
That's
self-actualizing. And what I mean by self-actualizing is, in this moment, we're talking about something that's in depth. We're not just talking about, where we're going to party and how many drinks we're going to have in the next hour or so, which might be many, but, but at least in this conversation here and now, we can talk, about, what's really up, in our world, in today's world, and more than anything, try to, impress upon the young people as to watch us in an example to want to be like us, as if we're actually giving the right example. This is what's up with the kids today. They're getting the wrong examples, and they're following the wrong examples, and they're getting the wrong type of pedigree, if you will, of what and how they should be.
That's true.
And it's a rough time right now, and it all starts in the home. It starts with your own kids first. It really does, and then from there, they can go out and they can spread the word to their friends. Maybe their friends their friends aren't in the most savory family situation or whatever, but it's like, hey, you can come over to my house, and guess what? Then my dad turn you on to this new dinner, or this and that, or I don't happen to have kids, but if I did, I would welcome my kids as friends down here to share all of this with them. You know what I'm saying? And knowledge and instruction and advice. So that's my thing. My thing is about the legacy, man. I'm about the legacy. What am I going to leave behind? Am I trying to leave, the legacy of being the biggest bank robber in the world, or am I trying to leave the legacy of being a great musician and somebody that contributed himself and gave his heart and his soul and mind to the world, and not just only kept it for himself?
Right. Thank you for that, Gary. See, Walter just spitting out all this knowledge and all this great information. I mean, wow. I mean, you're amazing, Walter. And I mean, looking at like your catalog, and again, when I first started the show, I mean, you played with the Pointer Sisters, Bobby Lau, Chris Big Day Davis, Prince, Maceo Parker.
Let me mention something about Chris. Chris Big Dog Davis has worked with Gerald Albright, Najee, and all these other people. He's worked with so many. Mesa, all these folks. He was the one that helped me on Beautiful Day.
Wow.
Chris helped me on that. Due to my guy. Me and him go back like 30, almost 40 years. Wow. Back to Des Moines, Iowa, if you could believe that. He left Des Moines and went out east. He's in Connecticut now. And then I came up here in Minneapolis years later. Then we regrouped. And then that's when we collaborated on Beautiful Day back in 2019.
Okay. Wow. I love that song, Beautiful Day. And even your last single, Time to Chill. But I wanted to ask you, Rena Chanel, who's another fabulous artist herself. And if you don't know Rena Chanel, shame on you.
Hey, Rena. I know her now. So no more shame in the game.
Yeah. And also Costella. I don't know if you know Costella.
Oh, yeah. I see Costella online. Yep.
Yeah. And she's another amazing, gifted, talented
very,
artist.
very.
Yeah. So many, Gary Smoot, so many other people. So I wanted to ask you, what's coming up next for Walter Chancellor? Any new music? Anything surprises in 23?
Always new. As long as I'm standing, there's always going to be something landing. All right. So I do that a lot too. I rhyme. I make things rhyme sometimes, whenever I can, But anyway, I got some music coming up in May. I'm going to be releasing a single. It's going to be called "You Make Me Feel So Good."
You make me feel so good.
So good.
I like that.
I mean, even when you just say that, you ain't even heard the music. It just sounds sexy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You make me feel so good.
You make me feel so good. You say that to anybody, man, they'll just melt.
You
make me feel so good. They just be like,
you make me feel so. I love it. So can you without giving, can you share like who you're working with on this particular project? Can you share?
I'm working with a artist over in the UK. His name is Mark Walker, and Mark has worked with he's been on tour with the Jacksons over there. He's worked with Nita Baker. He's worked with who else? Oh, a lot of people, man. This guy is all over. He's a well sought after musician, producer, and so him and I both co-produced this next thing.
Oh,
I call it a thingy because it isn't a thing yet.
It isn't a thing. I love that. I love that, Walter. You know, when we think about also your music and your gift, what do you tell someone? What do you do when the world is not ready for your sound?
I tell them to get ready.
Get ready. That's right.
Get ready, because if this ain't it, there's gonna be another one that will be.
That's right.
Because it keeps coming. I mean, you know, you look at artists like Michael Jackson, and back in the day when he was hot, just for many years, even through the Jackson 5, everybody was saying, "What's next?
Right?
How's he gonna outdo Bad? How you gonna outdo Jimmy?" You know. If somebody said, "If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready." Chantel, great for that advice. Thank you. That's some knowledge for me. You know.
Yeah,
that's it. Right. You know, as long as you stay in the loop and in your wheelhouse of creativity, you keep things going, you stay active. You ain't, you know, cats like Stevie Wonder can put like songs out, put records out every 10, 15 years. He's done that.
Right.
Stevie Wonder has done that. Everybody can't do that, you know.
That's right.
Because we ain't all like Stevie, you know. And you know, we just got to keep that locomotion. That locomotive running on the train, right. You know. Once you get up to speed, you can slow down a little bit, but you got to keep going where you're going. That's right. You got to keep it going. You got to keep feeding it, you know, the coal. You got to put logs on that fire to keep that steam engine rolling, you know.
That's right.
That's what's up.
Hey, Michael. Yeah, that's right. I love that. And, you know, so, you know, I have so many more questions. Like, I didn't realize that time had flown by so fast, my friend Walter. That's how it is when you're having great conversations with such good people. The time just always flies. So I always have to ask you, will you come back on the show?
Well, since you took so long, yes, I will. No, I'm just joking.
I know. We want you to come back, Walter.
Absolutely, brother. You don't even have to ask, man. You just request. Just request, and my answer is always going to be yes. Oh, that rhymes.
There you go.
My answer is always going to be yes. There you go.
And you know, I have to ask you something. You know, the signature. So your mustache. Tell me about it. That's like a signature.
Well, yeah, my mustache used to hang down, you know, but now since my life is on the upswing, you know, I'm 67, man. I'm 67 years old, so it's you know, it's time to turn it up, baby. It's time to turn it up in all aspects.
Right. So what's the best? How can we continue, and people to watch the replay and moving forward, how can we continue to support Walter Chancellor Jr.?
Just go to my website. It's WALTERCHANCELLORJR.com. Just my name all put together. WALTERJR.com. And join my subscribers list there. I got a subscribers list. So once I start sending out emails and things like that and alerts of what I'm doing, you'll be included. So, you know, you'll get firsthand information from me from the website, because I'll be putting it in there. Hey, I'm doing this tonight. Guess what? I'm drinking out the little pub around the corner and damn martinis. Come on down. No.
Do you have a favorite drink? Do you have a favorite drink?
Martinis. Sapphire gin martinis with blue cheese, olives, and those little onions. You know, little onions like that. Those bad boys. Put them on the stem too. Yeah, that's like dinner. Actually, like a dessert, because I don't like to drink like that while I'm eating, but afterwards it's like dessert for me. But that's my favorite drink.
What about?
I love whiskey. I love whiskeys.
You love.
I love bourbon.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try. I'm
Yeah,
a
just
wine
go
drinker. I like wine.
Yeah. Well, if you're used to drinking wine, this might startle you a little bit because it's a doozy of a drink. It's got some powerhouse. It's got some powerhouse
Okay.
to it. You know?
And I'm a lightweight, so it may just.
Well, you better mix it with tonic then.
Okay. I'll mix it with it. What about, real quick, what about any shows, any concerts? People tweeting like, can they see you in concert anywhere?
Okay, Thomasina Petrus, a longtime musical colleague up here. She's a vocalist, awesome. She's doing a Billie Holiday tribute April 7th. No, my bad. April 9th. I've been corrected on all these dates, man. I don't know what it is with me today. But April 9th, she's going to be at the Dakota, which is the premier jazz club here in downtown Minneapolis. And that's, April 9th, that's going to be on Easter. So,
Okay.
you fall out of your Easter Sunday best, just come on down to, the Dakota, and she's doing a Billie Holiday tribute. She's awesome. She the replication is crazy.
Oh,
You
wow.
hear her, you'll be like, okay. You close your eyes, you'll think Billie's in the room with you for real.
Ooh, I would love
Yeah.
that. I wish we could. Are they going to stream that show, or you don't know? Well, people can
I
buy
don't know if
tickets.
I think her team may tape it, videotape it, but I'm not sure. I can't really say at this moment. But
Okay.
the show is live. Bring yourself on down.
I love that. I love that.
Yep.
And can we find this information on your website?
Yes, it is on my website. It's under the events, under the event tab on my website. It's got all of that there.
Okay. I love it. My friend, Walter Chancellor Jr., you definitely have that it factor, my brother. Anything I continue to do to support your music, we love you. Again, come back on the show in May. When a new song drops, come back on the show so we can talk about it.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. I would love to use be on your show as a vehicle to launch this thing for sure.
Wow.
You're on my top list, man. My top tier of people to reach out to and to take a listen to the song and even give me some feedback because I need that. Just because I like it don't mean everybody else will.
You can always put me on the CD. Add me to one of the I can say something on the CD, just a little something.
We're gonna talk about that. We'll talk about that.
Can you stick around for a little bit?
Huh?
Can you stick around for a second? Can you stick around?
Sure.
Again, everybody, thank you so much for our special guest, composer, producer, saxophonist, Walter Chancellor Jr. Amazing guy. Please support these amazing artists that come on the show. I just want to thank him again for his gift of artistry, for giving us great music. And thank each and every one of you for also supporting the show. I hope you all had a beautiful day. I had a beautiful day. I just said that because I love the Beautiful Day, the song that he played. I love that song. Hey, Colleen, thank you so much. Vaughn, Rena, so many, Sheila, Dr. Graham, Chef D, thank you so much for controlling everything. Don't forget, K Ward Radio, my YouTube channel, subscribe. KWardRadio.com is my website. If you don't subscribe to any of those things, shame on you. If you'd like to send me any artist would like to be featured on the show, there's my information. You can mail me your CDs, any prizes, anything you want to send me. If you'd like to support the show, no gift is too small. Cash App, PayPal, all that jazz. Join me each and every Saturday on WVAS 90.7, the Alabama State University Smooth Jazz Station right here in Montgomery. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of the week. And I'll see you back here next Monday, same place, same time. Make sure you take care of yourself and be kind to others.